younger people have it even harder, I think, because we didn't have
I agree with you.
marriage. We didn't have all the distractions, you know what I mean, with social media and phones going off all the time and our kids having phones or any of that stuff. So I think, you know, one of the reasons we wrote the book was for this, hopefully to help people if they are in that situation to avoid what we went through. But
yeah, that is what motivated our book. Like, oh, if you could skip all of the bad stuff that we did and jump to where we figured some stuff out, that would be amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, that was one of the big shocks for us. Like, we wrote our book for people that are struggling after kids, right? That's our avatar, is people that are like struggling like what we went through, right? We didn't struggle in the beginning of our relationship. It was easy. It was once we had kids where it became hard. And so there's newlyweds that have read our book in our advanced reader team, and hearing from them where it's like exactly what you just said, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think of that. But hallelujah. Can we just gift these books to people when they first get married or think about getting married? Because you really can plan ahead. And, you know, we just listened to this we love John Maxwell. And we just listened to a podcast with him and Rachel Hollis. And he said this one line that was so good. And he said, if you don't prepare, you will repair. And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that good? If you don't prepare, you will repair. And so it's like in the beginning of our book, we talk about how, like, we didn't know any of this. Like, it was all so new. And like, you read the statistics and you read the science behind the, you know, you guys touched on it, the chemical response of falling in love and when that wears off and how all of this happens. And then you add kids and the woman has the hormones and there's all these things, you know, and we don't plan because there's really no manual out there to plan, or, you know, the other thing that I will say, people aren't talking about it yet. Right. That is a big part of our mission, is to take the stigma and normalize the struggle in marriage. Let's just normalize it. We all go through it. It's not right. Yeah. Thumbs up. Let's just normalize the struggle.
I want to get mental about it. We're the worst. But, and the other thing is that we've been sold a bill of goods since we were kids, you know,
right.
Disney, and it's madly in love and happily ever after.
And then you realize happily ever after is actually like, holy shit, now we have to like do a bunch of work.
Happily ever after only comes after you figure it out. And most people, there's 60% of the people are getting divorced or something ridiculous like that, right? And that's because
it's so high.
I'm not madly in love anymore. I guess I need to move on.
Yeah, I picked the wrong person. Yep. I think people do that. They say, oh, it's not happily ever after. I don't feel those same highs and euphoria like I did when I was in love. So I must have picked the wrong person. We're here to tell you that may be true, but more likely it's not. And you just have to hang on, and you have
Amen. And you got to do the work.
And you got to do the work.
And you got to do the work, because I think people have this, and I'm going to blame Disney. Okay. For the moment, I'm going to blame Disney because
I'll agree with you.
Right. Like we see this fairy tale of I'm swept off my feet and I fall in love, and it's this romantic thing. And then they live happily ever after. Well, there's a reason it ends there in the movies, right?
And then Hollywood picks up with 50 Shades of Grey, and you're like, this is it.
Right. Where's this coming from? But that's what it is that we have this false reality of what it is. If they don't say that you're going to argue about taking out the garbage and who's taking the kids where, and why are you coming home from work so late and you forgot, this and all of these things that we get trapped in. We get trapped in this, we call it in our philosophy and in our book, the partnership loop, where we get stuck in the monotony of the day-to-day, and we lose our friendship and we lose the intimacy in our relationships because we're stuck in that part. Well, getting that part settled and working through that part and getting yourself to really work on your friendship and your intimacy, that's where it gets good. It's like, and I think like what you just said, a lot of people quit too soon. They quit too soon, and they miss out on, what does it feel like now to be with the same person for 23 years?
Yeah, which, by the way, I'd trade that any day for madly in love. Like I'm much happier now after being married for 22 years than madly in love. Madly in love is beautiful and it's wonderful and that's great, but this is something transcendental.
But the truth is, though, you'll never figure it out unless you put in some work, and you make the time to put in the work.